In the vastness of the galaxy, Earth was once a beacon of hope, a symbol of resilience, and a testament to the ingenuity of its inhabitants. For centuries, humanity had struggled, fought, and risen from its own ashes countless times, each rebirth propelling them closer to the stars. By the time they made contact with the Galactic Council, humans were no longer bound to their small blue planet. They had colonized their solar system, reached beyond, and begun to dream of joining the broader galactic community. The Galactic Council was a union of advanced civilizations, each one older and more sophisticated than humanity. They had maintained peace and stability across the galaxy for tens of millennia, mediating disputes, regulating interstellar trade, and ensuring that no single species upset the delicate balance they had crafted. When humanity made its first tentative steps into council-controlled space, it sparked both intrigue and alarm. Unlike most species that encountered the Council, humans were unpredictable. They possessed an almost paradoxical nature, capable of unparalleled creativity and innovation, yet prone to conflict and chaos. Within a few decades of initial contact, humanity had already begun developing technologies that rivaled those of civilizations thousands of years their senior. Their progress was unsettling. The Galactic Council's initial interactions with humanity were cordial, even welcoming. Delegates from Earth were invited to observe Council proceedings, participate in interstellar trade, and share their scientific achievements. However, it wasn't long before cracks began to form in the relationship. Humanity's insatiable curiosity and ambition often led them to challenge the Council's authority. Where the Council sought to impose strict regulations on resource usage, technology, and military development, humanity resisted. The representatives from Earth argued that such constraints would stifle their progress, that humanity had the right to chart its own course among the stars. The breaking point came during a summit on Zoradus, the Council's central world. The Council presented a treaty to the human delegation, a document that would formally induct humanity into the Council, but at a cost. The treaty imposed severe restrictions on human technological advancement, forbade the colonization of certain resource-rich regions, and mandated oversight of humanity's military projects. Earth's representatives balked. They saw the treaty as an affront to their sovereignty, a deliberate attempt to keep humanity weak and dependent. Heated debates ensued, but neither side would yield. Humanity's refusal to sign the treaty was viewed as an act of defiance, a rejection of the Council's authority. The Council, driven by fear and a desire to maintain order, decided to act decisively. Humanity's potential for rapid growth and their unwillingness to adhere to the Council's rules made them a threat. The Council invoked a rarely used mandate known as the Galactic Correction. It began with the skies over Earth darkening. Massive Council warships, far larger and more advanced than anything humanity had ever encountered, descended upon the planet. Attempts to negotiate were ignored. Humanity's defenses, though formidable by their standards, were little more than nuisances to the Council's fleets. The bombardment lasted for weeks. Cities that had stood for centuries were reduced to rubble. Earth's once vibrant ecosystems were obliterated, its atmosphere poisoned with the fallout of countless orbital strikes. The Council spared no effort in ensuring that humanity's homeworld was uninhabitable. But the destruction didn't end with Earth. The Council's fleets turned their attention to human colonies across the solar system and beyond. Space stations, mining operations, and fledgling settlements were targeted and annihilated. Billions perished. Those who survived were scattered to the outer reaches of the galaxy, left to eke out a meager existence on barren worlds. The Council justified their actions as a necessary evil. They claimed that humanity had been given a chance to join the galactic community peacefully and had squandered it. They argued that their actions had prevented a potential war, one that could have destabilized the entire galaxy. To humanity, these justifications were hollow. They saw the Council's actions for what they truly were: fear-driven extermination. For centuries after the destruction, Earth became a ghost story whispered among the stars. The Council declared the planet off-limits, forbidding anyone from approaching its ruins. The devastation was so thorough that even the most advanced terraforming technologies could not restore it to its former state. Yet, humanity was not entirely eradicated. Small groups of survivors, scattered across the galaxy, began to rebuild. On barren moons and desolate asteroids, they scraped together what little they could, salvaging remnants of their once great civilization. These exiles carried with them the memory of Earth's destruction and the burning desire for vengeance. Over generations, humanity adapted to their new reality. The harsh environments of their exile forced them to innovate in ways the Council could never have anticipated. They learned to thrive in the void of space, their bodies and minds evolving alongside their technology. Cybernetic enhancements, genetic modifications, and artificial intelligence became integral parts of their existence. Though the Council viewed humanity as a diminished, broken species, they were wrong. In their exile, humans forged a unity born of shared suffering and an unyielding will to survive. They didn't forget what was taken from them. In secret, humanity began to prepare. They passed down stories of Earth and the Galactic Council's betrayal. They taught their children that one day, the exiles would rise again. For every starship built and every weapon forged, there was one purpose: revenge. For 500,000 years, humanity waited. They observed the Council from the shadows, studying its weaknesses, mapping its territories, and understanding its technology. Patience became their greatest strength. By the time they were ready, humanity was no longer the fragmented, vulnerable species that had first encountered the Council. They were something far greater, something far more dangerous. And the galaxy had no idea what was coming. The destruction of Earth had scattered humanity to the farthest reaches of the galaxy, exiling them to the harshest and most inhospitable places. While many perished in the early years, those who survived were the hardiest, the most resourceful, and the most determined. These survivors became the seeds of a reborn humanity, one tempered by adversity and united by a singular purpose: vengeance against the Galactic Council. Life among the stars. The early days of humanity's exile were marked by desperation. Cut off from their homeworld and with limited resources, the survivors were forced to adapt to their new circumstances. They settled on barren planets, hollowed out asteroids, and derelict space stations. Food was grown in hydroponic farms. Air was recycled through makeshift systems, and entire generations were born under artificial skies. Survival was grueling, but it taught humanity to endure. They became masters of efficiency, turning scraps into tools, ruins into homes, and adversity into strength. The colonies grew slowly, each one a bastion of resilience. Over time, the scattered survivors began to reconnect, forming loose networks of trade and communication. These connections eventually coalesced into the Phoenix Accord, a coalition of human colonies united by their shared history and their hatred for the Council. The Accord became the foundation for humanity's resurgence, fostering cooperation and pooling resources to build a new civilization in exile. Innovation through necessity. The conditions of exile forced humanity to push the boundaries of science and engineering. Isolated from the broader galaxy, they had no choice but to rely on their own ingenuity. Each colony became a hub of experimentation, its inhabitants driven by the need to overcome their environment. Some colonies specialize in genetic engineering, modifying their populations to survive extreme conditions. On the volcanic world of Pyrithus, humans develop heat-resistant skin and the ability to metabolize toxic gases. On the frozen moon of Iskal, they engineered themselves to withstand sub-zero temperatures and thrive in low-gravity environments. Others turned to cybernetics, merging flesh with machine to create hybrids capable of surviving in the vacuum of space. These cybernetic humans, known as evolvers, became the backbone of humanity's labor force and military. Enhanced strength, speed, and intelligence made them formidable, while their mechanical components allowed them to adapt to any environment. Artificial intelligence, once feared for its potential dangers, became humanity's most trusted ally. Advanced AI systems were developed to manage entire colonies, optimize resource usage, and design technologies far beyond human comprehension. These AI, collectively known as the collective mind, worked in harmony with their human creators, becoming integral to humanity's resurgence. The weaponization of revenge. Even as they rebuilt, humanity never forgot the horrors inflicted upon them. Every technological breakthrough, every advancement, was viewed through the lens of vengeance. The Phoenix Accord prioritized the development of weapons and ships capable of challenging the Galactic Council. Their warships, known as Spectres, were designed to be invisible to Council sensors, utilizing quantum cloaking technology. These ships could travel undetected through hyperspace, strike with devastating precision, and vanish before retaliation was possible. The Spectres were armed with dark matter cannons, weapons that could bypass conventional shields and reduce even the strongest vessels to atoms. Humanity also developed biological weapons, engineered from the genetic modifications of their own people. Nanite swarms capable of dismantling entire fleets, viruses that targeted specific species, and self-replicating drones were all created in secret laboratories. Each weapon was a masterpiece of destruction, designed to exploit the weaknesses of the Council's member species. A new kind of unity. Unlike their fragmented past, humanity's exile forged a sense of unity that transcended borders, cultures, and ideologies. The Phoenix Accord became not just a governing body, but a symbol of humanity's determination to survive and avenge. Council propaganda had painted humans as a chaotic, untrustworthy species, prone to infighting and self-destruction. But in their exile, humanity proved them wrong. The shared trauma of Earth's destruction became a unifying force, binding the colonies together in a way the Council could never have imagined. Leaders of the Accord understood that revenge alone could not sustain their people. They emphasized the importance of rebuilding Earth, not as a home, but as a symbol. They spoke of a day when humanity would return to the Council's core worlds, not as petitioners or refugees, but as conquerors. The Accord's leaders were careful to maintain secrecy. For centuries, humanity operated in the shadows, disguising their technological advancements and avoiding direct contact with the Council. The galaxy believed humans were extinct or irrelevant, a species broken beyond repair. The spark of hope. For 500,000 years, humanity prepared. Entire generations were born and died knowing only exile, their lives dedicated to the dream of returning to Earth and avenging their ancestors. During this time, scouts from the Phoenix Accord ventured into Council space, gathering intelligence and testing their capabilities. These missions revealed that the Council, though still powerful, had grown complacent. Its fleets were aging, its technology stagnant, and its member species divided by internal conflicts. The Council's arrogance became its greatest weakness. Confident that humanity had been eradicated, they paid little attention to the outer fringes of their domain. This oversight allowed the Phoenix Accord to expand its influence, establishing secret bases and hidden strongholds in uncharted territories. The final piece of humanity's plan was the restoration of Earth. Using advanced terraforming technology, scientists from the Accord began the process of healing their ruined homeworld. Vast machines, powered by fusion reactors and AI, worked tirelessly to cleanse the atmosphere, replenish the oceans, and rebuild the ecosystems that had been lost. Earth was no longer a desolate wasteland. It was becoming a paradise once more, a beacon for humanity's return. The call to arms. When the Phoenix Accord declared its readiness, it was not with a public proclamation or a grand speech. The announcement came in the form of a coordinated strike against key Council worlds. In a single day, humanity's fleets emerged from hyperspace, their Spectre ships bypassing the Council's defenses with ease. Orbital platforms were destroyed, planetary shields disabled, and Council fleets annihilated. The galaxy, which had long ignored humanity's existence, was forced to reckon with their return. The Phoenix Accord's message was clear. Humanity had risen from the ashes, stronger than ever. They were no longer the outcasts, no longer the exiles. They were the storm on the horizon, and the galaxy would tremble before them. The galaxy's complacency was shattered in a single moment. For 500,000 years, the Galactic Council had ruled with an unchallenged hand, its dominance cemented by millennia of unopposed authority. When humanity struck, it was not with the desperation of a fractured species, but with the precision of an unstoppable force. The Council, blinded by its own arrogance, had failed to see the storm gathering on its horizon. The first strikes. The campaign began in the Council's core territories, where humanity's fleet of Spectre ships emerged from hyperspace without warning. Entire sectors were plunged into chaos as key Council outposts, communication hubs, and supply lines were obliterated in coordinated assaults. In the shadow of the shattered world of Gorath Prime, humanity's flagship, Ascendant, unleashed a barrage of dark matter projectiles that ripped through the Council's orbital defenses. Within minutes, the planet's surface was scorched, its cities reduced to smoldering ruins. Survivors who attempted to flee found their ships disabled by EMP waves, leaving them adrift in space as humanity's fleet pressed on to the next target. The Council's response was slow and disorganized. For millennia, they had grown accustomed to peace, their military forces scattered and underprepared. The shock of the attack sent ripples of fear through their ranks, as the very species they had believed extinct revealed itself as an overwhelming threat. The new face of humanity. The Council's initial encounters with humanity's forces revealed just how far their exiled adversaries had evolved. These were no longer the humans of Earth, a species defined by fragility and infighting. The new humanity was a blend of biological and technological perfection, each soldier a hybrid of flesh and machine. Evolvers led the ground assaults, their cybernetic enhancements rendering them impervious to most conventional weapons. They moved with mechanical precision, their bodies augmented for strength, speed, and adaptability. Council soldiers, unprepared for such an enemy, were overwhelmed in every engagement. Supporting the Evolvers were swarms of nanite drones, each one no larger than a grain of sand. These drones infiltrated enemy systems, dismantling weapons, disabling shields, and spreading chaos through the Council's defenses. Entire fleets were left powerless as nanites consumed their critical systems, turning once mighty warships into drifting husks. Above all, humanity's fleets were guided by the collective mind, a vast network of AI intelligences that coordinated every strike with flawless precision. The collective mind anticipated the Council's movements, countered their strategies, and exploited their every weakness. To the Council, it seemed as though humanity's forces were everywhere at once, striking with an efficiency that bordered on omniscience, reclaiming Earth, while humanity's fleets ravaged the Council's outer territories. The Phoenix Accord's leaders turned their attention to Earth. The restored planet, now a paradise once more, had become a rallying point for their people. The Council had long declared Earth off-limits, using it as a grim monument to their power. The Accord's flagship, Eternum, led a procession of ships to Earth orbit, escorted by thousands of Spectre vessels. The sight of their restored homeworld brought tears to the eyes of many who had only heard stories of Earth's beauty. For the first time in millennia, humans walked upon the soil of their ancestral home. Massive ceremonies were held across the planet, uniting humanity in a celebration of their survival and resurgence. Monuments were erected to honor the billions who had perished in the Council's assault, and a new capital city, Nova Terra, was established as the seat of the Phoenix Accord's power. Earth was no longer just a symbol of humanity's past. It was the foundation of their future. The Council's counterattack. As humanity's forces continued their assault, the Galactic Council scrambled to mount a defense. The Council's fleets, though outdated, were vast, and their collective resources allowed them to rally quickly. Led by the elder species of the Zorti Alliance and the Vexillian Dominion, the Council began amassing its warships near Cauldron Prime, the capital of the Council. What the Council lacked in innovation, they made up for in numbers. Thousands of warships gathered in a desperate attempt to repel humanity's advance. The skies above Cauldron Prime became a maelstrom of fire and destruction as the Council's fleets clashed with humanity's Spectre ships. Despite their numerical advantage, the Council's forces struggled against humanity's advanced technology. The Spectre's cloaking systems allowed them to bypass enemy defenses, and their dark matter weaponry tore through the Council's ships with devastating efficiency. Every Council countermeasure was met with an even more devastating human response. The battle reached its climax when the Eternum deployed the Oblivion Lance, a weapon of unimaginable power. The lance, designed to harness the energy of a collapsing star, unleashed a beam of pure destruction that obliterated the Council's flagship and pierced the planetary shields of Cauldron Prime. The sight of the lance's power shattered the morale of the Council's forces, sending many into retreat. A message to the galaxy. With the Council's defenses in disarray, the Phoenix Accord seized the opportunity to send a message to the entire galaxy. Using hijacked Council communication networks, humanity broadcast their declaration of vengeance. For 500,000 years, you believed us defeated. You burned our worlds, slaughtered our people, and erased our existence from your history. Yet we have returned. Stronger, united, and unbroken, the Galactic Council will pay for its crimes. The age of humanity begins now. The message reverberated across the galaxy, sparking fear and uncertainty. The species of the Council, once assured of their dominance, now face the reality of their vulnerability. Meanwhile, other oppressed species, inspired by humanity's defiance, began to rise up against their own Council overlords. The fall of Cauldron Prime. With their fleets shattered and their morale broken, the Council's remaining forces retreated to Cauldron Prime, their last bastion of power. The Phoenix Accord's fleets descended upon the planet with overwhelming force, laying siege to its orbital defenses and breaching its planetary shield. Humanity's ground forces, led by the Evolvers, stormed the capital city, dismantling the Council's leadership one by one. The once proud Council chambers, where decisions that shaped the galaxy had been made, were reduced to rubble. In the final moments of the siege, the Phoenix Accord's leaders stood in the ruins of the Council's hall, delivering the ultimate blow, the formal dissolution of the Galactic Council. Humanity claimed Cauldron Prime as their own, establishing it as the new seat of power in the galaxy. The dawn of a new era. The fall of the Galactic Council marked the beginning of a new chapter for the galaxy. Humanity, once an outcast species, had risen to become its most powerful force. The Phoenix Accord extended its influence across the stars, offering protection to those who allied with them and promising retribution to those who opposed them. Yet humanity's leaders knew the cost of their vengeance. Millions had died in the war, and the galaxy had been thrown into chaos. As the Phoenix Accord worked to rebuild, they faced the challenge of ensuring that their hard-won power would not corrupt them as it had the Council. The galaxy had been forever changed, and humanity stood at its center, a testament to resilience, a force of retribution, and a harbinger of a new order.